Hey everyone, it's James from Tin Robot Games, and today we're going to teach you how to play Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. Now, Randy and Ellen from We Game Together are some of my most favorite content creators, and they did an amazing job explaining this game. So I'm going to let them continue on from here. I'm going to come in partway through after they've done the first part to explain some of the cards that we've added in this game, and then they'll finish off at the end with a solo version of how to play Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. All right, let's get into it.
Hi guys, and welcome to another We Game Together preview. We're Randy and Ellen, and today we're taking a look at this adorable, competitive, press your luck, and a bit of take that game, Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. Nutty Squirrel plays 1 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, in about 15 to 45 minutes.
In Nutty Squirrels, you are competing amongst your community of squirrels to be the best prepared for the upcoming winter. If you are the squirrel that buries the most acorns, you will win. While foraging or possibly even stealing acorns from your squirrel peers, you'll discover new abilities and hazards along the way. You'll use your action points each turn to move along the branches, flip over cards to reveal acorn stashes and special powers, stash your acorns at your nest, and ultimately bury your acorns, which will score you points.
Be careful as you're scurrying around, flipping cards and gathering acorns in your cute little squirrel cheeks, as some branches are not as solid as you thought, and when they break, you'll fall to the ground and lose your precious acorns. There will even be times that an entire section breaks off and that permanently shortens that branch. The game ends when a player scores 20 points or once the final leaf card is revealed. You complete the current round and the player with most points wins. Alright, now let's take a look at the setup. Setup for this game is as quick and simple as placing the trunk card in the middle and dealing out 6 sets of 5 random branch cards to each side of the trunk. Place acorns on the last and third to last cards, choose your player color, and finally select the first player, and you're ready to play within just a few minutes.
On each turn of Nutty Squirrels, you'll have 3 action points, or AP, to spend across 6 different actions, each one with differing AP costs. The first of these actions is moving. For each AP you spend, you can move 1 space along the branch and trunk cards. If there is a broken branch card revealed, it will cost 2 AP to move onto that space.
For 1 AP, you can perform the next action, flip a card. This is the action that can work out great for you and your acorn gathering, or you could find yourself flat on the ground losing all the acorns you're carrying. There are 3 types of cards you can reveal. Leaf cards contain 0 to 3 regular brown acorns or a golden acorn that is worth 5 acorns. Broken branch cards are what you don't want to reveal. These cards cause any squirrel unlucky enough to be on it to lose all the acorns they're carrying, and they'll have to return to the trunk space. If there are ever 2 broken branch cards adjacent to each other, the rest of that tree limb breaks off, taking any branch cards and their contents with it to the game box out of play. The final card type is power cards. We'll talk about these cards in detail later, but you can have up to 3 power cards on your board at one time. If you already have 3 power cards, you can swap one from your board with the card your squirrel is on. If you take the power card you're on, you'll need to shift the rest of that limb's cards 1 space under your squirrel and add another card to the end of the branch from the deck. This could cause a broken branch card to shift under you, so be aware of the consequences of taking some power cards.
The gather action is how you gather acorns in your cheek for transporting. This action does not cost any AP, and you can freely drop and pick up acorns on any cards during your turn. Swapping a brown acorn for a golden one is a no-brainer way to use this free action. The stash action is another free action. You can stash your acorns when you're on the trunk space from your cheeks to the nest spot on your player board. This is a good place to store your acorns, trying to get sets of 5 acorns before burying them. Why would you want to do this, you ask? Well, another action you can take is convert. For 1 AP, you can convert 5 brown acorns into a golden acorn. This will save you AP when you're ready to take the berry action that Ellen will be talking about right now.
Yes, this is the bury action. This action takes 1 AP per acorn you bury. So as Randy said, that converting will save you AP later. Well, now this is that later. Since this action costs 1 AP per acorn, a 5-point golden acorn only costs you 1 AP to bury versus 5 AP if they were brown acorns. Remember, only buried acorns score points, so this makes efficiency while burying quite important.
We promised earlier that we'd talk about the power cards in detail, and I am a man of my word. There are 6 different power cards you can acquire, and you can have a maximum of 3 unique cards on your board at one time. The first power card is the Swinging Squirrel. This card reduces the cost of traversing the Broken Branch cards to just 1 AP instead of 2.
The Backpack Power gives you an additional spot to store an extra acorn. Not only is it extra storage, but the acorn in your pack is also safe from theft, a perfect place to store your golden acorn. The acorn in your pack can still be lost in a fall, however.
The Sugar Rush Power is the most straightforward. This card will give you an additional AP point per turn for a total of 4 per turn. The next couple of power cards introduce a bit of Take That into Nutty Squirrels, the first of which is Sticky Fingers. For 1 AP and only once per turn, you can steal an acorn from a player's nest when you're on the trunk space and they are not. You can also steal directly from another player's squirrel cheek if you're on the same leaf card as they are. There are 3 spots on your Sticky Finger card, and once it is full, meaning you've stolen 3 acorns, you can get to bury all of these acorns automatically without paying any AP. But that card is then immediately discarded. Alternatively, you can use this card to steal a power card from a squirrel on the same leaf, and likewise, the card is immediately discarded, and you'll lose any acorns currently on the card.
The next power card and the final Take That card is the Owl. This is a one-time use card that can be used in one of 3 ways. First, you can send your pet owl to scare all other squirrels off the limb that you're on, causing them to fall. Second, if you're on the trunk space, you can choose any limb. And third, you can use it to discard any one power card from another squirrel from anywhere.
We now come to the 6th and final power card, which is the Flying Squirrel. This card allows your squirrel to jump from one limb to another without having to go through the trunk space. The game can end in one of 2 ways. If a player acquires 20 points from burying acorns, they win. Alternatively, if no player has reached 20 points and the final leaf card is revealed, players will finish the current round and the Nutty Squirrel that has the most points wins. Ties are broken by most golden acorns. If still tied, the highest combined value of gathered and stashed acorns wins. And if somehow, after all that, you're still tied, players will share the victory.
Now that's the core rules for how to play Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. Now during our Kickstarter campaign, we actually hit some stretch goals and added some more cards, more artwork to this game, and I'm going to take you through those special cards now. Now let's start with the Spittoon card. The Spittoon card is added to your player board like any other power card and will stay there as long as you have it on your board. This card allows you to spit an acorn from anywhere on the tree to the center nest. In this case, you can see the white player is out on the second leaf from the center. For the cost of 1 action point, they can move 1 acorn from their cheeks to their center nest. Next, we have the False Gold card. If a player lands on the False Gold card, they must convert one of their 5-point golden acorns into a 1-point brown acorn. This can either be from their cheeks or from their burrow, but they must convert 1 acorn. Next, we have the Sappy Feet card. When a player lands on the Sappy Feet card, remove it from play and place it next to the player's player board. On their next turn, they get 1 less action point, and this will act as a reminder. When they finish the turn, they can remove that card from beside their player board and put it in the discard pile. Don't forget to shift the cards down and add another card to the end of this branch. Next, we have the Wind Gust card. When a player reveals the Wind Gust card, it impacts all players on the branch. Each player must shift their token 2 spaces away from the center of the trunk. In this case, the black player shifts down 2 spaces, the white player shifts down 2 spaces and lands on a Broken Branch card. They must move their token to the center nest and remove any acorns that are in their cheeks and return them to the general supply. Likewise, the gray squirrel falls off the end of the tree and, like with a Broken Branch, must return to the center trunk and remove any acorns they have in their cheeks and return them to the general supply. Remove the Wind Gust card from play, shift the cards down, and place a card at the end of that limb to bring the total to 5. Please note that only the players shift down with the Wind Gust and the acorns remain stuck to the cards that they were originally on. Next, we have the Arborist card. When the Arborist card is revealed, simply flip over all the remaining cards that have been unrevealed on this branch so players can see them. Now in this case, 2 Broken Branch cards are adjacent to each other, which means this tree limb is dead. Any cards to the outside of these Broken Branch cards are removed from play and this tree limb no longer grows. And lastly, we have the Doppelganger card. Now this is a very unique and special card. It allows you to mimic any power in the game as long as another player has it on their player board and you don't have it on your player board. Now for this card, you might ask yourself, well, how does that work with a thief card? Because a thief card, you store the acorns in the thief's satchel. Well, in this case, if you're going to mimic a thief power on that particular turn, any acorns that you've stolen simply go into your cheeks or into your backpack if you have a backpack card. So there you have it. That's how you play Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. Now stay tuned for the solo rules.
There's also a solo mode in which most of the multiplayer rules apply. Your objective is to collect 20 points worth of acorns, or if you want to go for a high score, keep playing until all moves have been exhausted. For setup, you'll only include the owl and the sticky fingers cards in the deck. To acquire the other power cards, you'll need to purchase them for 5 acorns each. The swinging squirrel is now needed to move onto and through any broken branch cards.
The actions no longer require action points, but you will need to spend acorns to move outward on limbs, but moving inward on them is free. When you land on a card, you must reveal the card. If you land on the sticky fingers card, you lose an acorn from your cheek or backpack. This card stays where it is and will be activated every single time you land on it. If you land on the owl card, you'll need to bribe him with 3 acorns, or if you are unable to, the game immediately ends, so make sure you've got acorns to spare.